Welcome back to the channel, everypony. We have the last video for 2025. It's been a great year for the channel. We've secured a Dubby sponsorship, seen lots of new faces in the comments section. Views are up by 94%, watch time up by 59%. Let's keep up that momentum heading into 2026, which should be another awesome year for gaming and videos related to gaming. But this video is going to be a two-parter. First, we're going to get into both Modern Warfare 4 and Sledgehammer Games 2027 Call of Duty title. Then, as a bonus to my subscribers for such a great year, I will be going through and ranking every campaign in the Call of Duty series on Tier Maker. Starting with our COD leaks, we have the Ghost of Hope claiming that Modern Warfare 4 multiplayer in its current state is basically a direct copy of Modern Warfare 2 2022 with no perk changing system and fewer ADS/sliding penalties. This is because the developer for Modern Warfare 4 is, of course, Infinity Ward, who are infamous for their very, let's say, controversial design decisions that led to a mixed or mostly negative reaction from the overall COD community these days. They seem to have this fascination with molding modern COD into an insurgency sandstorm or Arma style game that's more focused on defensive style play with more elements of realism than a game that's focused around rushing and forgoes realism to make a more arcadey style game like Black Ops 7. In a way, going from Black Ops 7 to Modern Warfare 4 will feel like polar opposites in terms of game design decisions. Don't count on open matchmaking coming back or being able to butt slide around at Mach 5 after chaining wall jumps. It's just not that kind of game. And I think really, kind of side tangent here, but it makes sense as to why player animations in Black Ops 7, and this is especially noticeable in multiplayer in Warzone, don't seem to sync properly with the animations. So you get a player model you're trying to shoot kind of glitch and clip different body parts to account for the camera movement from the player controller. And then it kind of dawned on me that using the exact same template from Modern Warfare 2 and speeding up the player animations to account for the way both Sledgehammer Games and Treyarch designed their COD games created this problem, which is why the whole COD HQ thing didn't really help the franchise in any meaningful way. Back when the different studios had their own branches of the COD engine dating back to tech from Quake 3 Arena, they all had their unique feel that aligned with the vision of each studio. So if what I'm thinking, not optimistically, is true, then Modern Warfare 4 will be the launching point for the next iteration of COD HQ, which means yes, what was once dubbed Warzone 2.0 will be sunset along with all of the content Warzone players bought or earned since Modern Warfare 2 2022 Season 1 released. Realistically, every single skin that ever came to COD since 2019 could be playable to this day, but Microsoft needs some cash and COD fans will pony up, no pun intended. What COD fans didn't expect to happen was a response from Infinity Ward on Twitter, seemingly calling into question the very same leak Hope talked about earlier. Not only did they open up their comments for the first time in a long time, but this is the first I've seen a COD studio respond to leaks directly. Either they're responding to it for damage control purposes, or the leak is wrong in some way, which I doubt. And they're going to be damage controlling for a while because COD just had its worst year in sales performance in over a decade. Just like I said in my last video, Black Ops 7 lost the sales war to its contemporary Battlefield 6. Not only did they lose to Battlefield, they lost to NBA 2K, Monster Hunter, Borderlands, College Football, and Madden. COD has occupied the number 1 or 2 spot for a long time now, only to get bumped down to number 7 in 2025. And yes, I understand this is tracking sales to the end of November, but the launch window and Black Friday is where COD makes its money. They just clearly missed the mark, which is why Sledgehammer Games' new sub-franchise, which has had mixed reporting on what time period the game is set in. Hope recently said it's in the 90s/early 2000s, while Charlie Intel is saying it's set in the modern era. It honestly doesn't matter what time period the game is set in, as long as it does something different and innovative. That is the real reason as to why COD has fallen in sales. The franchise fatigue is real. Regardless if Treyarch made changes that made Black Ops 7 better than Black Ops 6, it doesn't matter. The live service, Battle Pass, Warzone era of COD has been spinning its wheels for close to 6 years now. It was bound to sputter out eventually, and unfortunately for Microsoft, it's just now losing momentum after a several billion-dollar acquisition. But I'll tell you what isn't losing momentum is Dubby. Go to dubby.gg, use code JimmyHomeless at checkout for 10% off new flavors such as the officially licensed Freerin, Beyond Journeys, and Honeydew and White Grape energy drink tub. It will give you the strength, energy, and strenergy for those long gaming sessions into the night. Use code JimmyHomeless to support the channel. Thank you very much. Welcome to part 2 of the video, folks. Here we have our tier maker list of all of the Call of Duty games, but this list in particular I've edited and arranged in advance because not all of these games have campaigns, and there are some campaigns that I've never played. Most notably, Call of Duty Vanguard as a recent game. Now, I've seen a friend play this game, play through most of the missions, and had I had played it, it would likely be sorted into trash tier. But we're going to be talking about the games that I have, these campaigns that I have played, and there's quite a few here, so let's get right into it. Starting with Call of Duty Finest Hour. I played this on PS2. And this was kind of like the PS2 rework of the original Call of Duty campaign. It was on PC, over here, which I did not play. But I did play this back in the day. And the thing about a lot of PlayStation 2 first-person shooters is that they haven't aged super well. Especially going back, this was a game I played in my childhood. So going back and playing this game with, PCSX2, definitely, I would say both this and Big Red 1, in retrospect, are mid. They're not bad, they're not trash, but they're just kind of mid. They're, World War II shooter campaigns were all the rage back in the day. And to be honest, I thought a lot of the Medal of Honor campaigns on console were better than these. So that's just is what it is. They're mid, but this is a really good starting point for what would eventually become most of the player base playing on console. So now we have Call of Duty 2. To be specific, I played the Xbox 360 versions campaign, and I would say it's decent. It is a step up. A lot of people say it's a step up from the original COD. I believe so as well. This is when we got rid of the health bar and we had regenerating health, which would kind of be the going forward, kind of the staple for the series, with the exception of COD World War II, but we'll get into it later. But Call of Duty 2, really polished, really established like the pace in which you would expect from a COD campaign. And it was just, the music was really well done. And you got to play as lots of different factions, different interesting factions of World War II. And all around a decent game. All right, Call of Duty 3. And for context, this wasn't sorted separately, but the Wii versions of COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 are here listed separately. But the Wii version of Call of Duty 3, so this is when my parents got me, my parents got me Nintendo Wii with Wii Sports bundled in there, and this was the only game that was, actually, no. Marvel Ultimate Alliance was bundled in there too, which was pretty decent. I didn't really like the waggle controls, and the waggle controls on Call of Duty 3 really hurt the game enough for me to label it like actual trash tier. As far as the other versions of the game, most people say it's either mid to bad, but this control scheme with the waggling, it's just kind of trash. So that was before like the Conduit or Medal of Honor, like the Wii Medal of Honor games kind of optimized the Wiimote aiming. So this Wiimote aiming on this game was not optimized. It was kind of trash. So it kind of made the whole experience pretty trash. All right. Now we're getting into some really, really, really good campaigns. Dare I say, fantastic. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, the very first Modern Warfare experience in the Call of Duty franchise. And yes, I put the remake right next to the original because it is essentially the same game with slightly different animations and upgraded, and it's in the eye of the beholder, but upgraded graphics. And Call of Duty 4, I mean, it was simply a very grounded, it was much like Call of Duty 2, very grounded, very action-packed, very like it's just classic, you know what I mean? Like it's just really, really well polished and paced, and trying to get to Al Assad and get him at the very end. Like it's just cinema. It's just cinema. Speaking of cinema, World at War. I would also say this is a fantastic campaign. Just absolutely, this is the most like brutal World War II game that you're ever going to play. It was, super polished in terms of its gameplay. I know if you played on veteran, you're gonna, and then same thing with COD 4, you're gonna get grenade spammed. Like that's kind of the expectation there, and it just forced you to play a lot more aggressive. And I kind of like that. I kind of like, when veteran isn't super handholdy, it's actually quite challenging. That is, my ideal COD campaign. And once you beat this campaign, you get to play zombies at the end, which is pretty cool. So yeah, fantastic. These three just fantastic campaigns. And I also gotta throw in Modern Warfare 2 2009 and the remake that came out in like 2020, 2021, something like that. Again, same with Call of Duty 4. Modern Warfare 2 was just went up into like Michael Bay tier, action, explosions, just like everything that makes a mid 2000s action movie awesome. This game embodied it. The music was spectacular. The escalation of playing a World War III scenario was realized in such a way that wasn't really like corny, but it also wasn't too realistic either. So it was just like optimized for an enjoyable and cinematic experience. All right, moving on to Modern Warfare 3 2011. I would say this is decent. It's not as a campaign, it's not as good as Modern Warfare 2. It's not as good as Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, but it was still pretty decent. I think this is around the time where they started to kind of go through the motions a little bit. And I understand that because Infinity Ward was in like a major shakeup in terms of staffing, and Sledgehammer had to come in and finish the game. So the fact that it came out as good as it did, and with a very satisfying conclusion and boss fight for Makarov, it was a decent COD campaign for sure. All right, Black Ops 2. I would say this is a fantastic campaign with David Mason and pursuing Menendez. The branching story, like this, it would be decent, but the fact that it has branching storylines and the extra stuff you can do, that bumps it up to fantastic for me. We've never had this much player choice in terms of a campaign in Call of Duty since, really. So to me, that bumps it up to fantastic. I guess for me, like the setting and the weapons weren't as engaging so much as Modern Warfare, World at War, and those games. But I still thought it was a very good campaign, very well written. And unfortunately, this campaign is continued in Black Ops 7, but we will get to that. Call of Duty Ghosts. Let's see. This is when Infinity Ward branched off of Modern Warfare. It was now approaching the Xbox One, PS4 generation. And so it's kind of like a mid-generation game. They had to develop it for all these systems. And it definitely shows, because I think the moment-to-moment gameplay became even more cliched and rehashed than Modern Warfare 3 before it. And I think for that, it does kind of suffer in that degree. And just like the absurdity of the storyline, like South America rising up to form a coalition that just completely flattens the United States. It's just kind of out there in that regard. And the stuff with Rourke, it's just like, how is he going to escape this time? Kind of situation. And the twist, where it's like your dad was a ghost all along, or like the military unit ghost, not like a spooky ghost. But and the cliffhanger ending, that like really soured me on. I was like, come on, man, this. So I would say it's mid in terms of Call of Duty campaigns. All right, Advanced Warfare. This is the one with Kevin Spacey. I thought that the way in which they utilized the exosuit made for better gameplay variety than COD Ghosts. And I'd put it a little bit above MW3 2011. I did enjoy this campaign. This was Sledgehammer's like first 100%. This is our idea, our intellectual property campaign. And I thought it was mostly decent. There are some parts where it kind of drags, but I think Kevin Spacey was a really good villain. And there was a section where you go through kind of like ice caves and such like that. That was really cool. And the way in which the game utilized and incentivized using your jet boost to move around was very well done. All right, Black Ops 3. This one was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. I actually did play this recently. Again, it has a similar problem to Black Ops 7, which we'll get into, but it's like too much relying on dream/hallucination/ this didn't really happen, but it's going through the mind of your character thing. That just kind of held it back in that regard. And they hardly, unlike Advanced Warfare, it hardly utilized the boost jumping at all. Like you can pretty much go the entire game without it. So it just kind of, and the conclusion is super lackluster as well. The final level is just kind of nonsense. And I think the robot enemies as well weren't as engaging to fight as they were in Advanced Warfare. So it's just kind of a downgrade to Advanced Warfare. And like the fact that the storyline is so convoluted and dumb just moves it down to a bad campaign for me. All right, Infinite Warfare. I'm actually playing through this right now. This campaign so far, I would put it above Advanced Warfare, because this campaign leans into the absurdity of a space Call of Duty game, but in such a way that is still serious, toned, and grounded, like Modern Warfare 1 and 2. And I think what turned a lot of people off from it was the fatigue with like the future setting at the time, and the fact that you pilot a spaceship in lots of sections of the game. And there was a brief spaceship section in Black Ops 3 and it's definitely more polished here. It's definitely more focused, and there's more and better content surrounding it. But I could see why that would tip people off from putting it into Fantastic tier, because it doesn't focus as much on the infantry combat. Although the infantry combat sections so far, I haven't finished this quite yet, but have been pretty decent. All right, Call of Duty World War II. I thought this one was bad. I thought it was like trying to be World at War, but without the levels weren't designed as well. The constant companions that you traveled with were just kind of annoying, and it was just like, I just think they completely missed the mark with this campaign. They took out regenerating health. You got to do health packs. You got to find them, or either bum them off your teammates. And I just thought that hurt the pacing so much to where it just like wasn't super enjoyable. And the ending is super lame and cringe. So yeah, it's just a bad campaign. All right, Modern Warfare 2019. I would say like right between there. It is a decent campaign for sure. The waterboarding section was pretty interesting, pretty provocative. And starting the the trend of playing as a small child, which was it's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's quite funny that we get to go so far back into the timeline of these characters we're playing as. I'm surprised we haven't had a sequence in which we're playing our character like in the womb of some, you know what I mean? Like it just goes back further and further. But this campaign, it was helped a lot by the tone, and it was helped a lot by the great like audio, weapon audio. The characters, the reimagining of the characters was done in such a way that they're contextualized in the late 2010s as opposed to the mid 2000s. And for the most part, I think it works out. So again, a decent campaign, decent conclusion as well. And now we move on to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I did say, okay, so Black Ops 2, it did have player choice. And so did this game to a degree. It was kind of, optional and extra added onto the top by solving these mysteries, which I thought played into the clandestine, Black Ops theme really well. So I would put this, pretty high on the decent scale. I thought that the two different endings you can get were pretty cool and well developed. Everybody likes Adler as a character. And the dream sequence that does occur in this game was done tastefully and not overdone like Black Ops 3 and eventually Black Ops 7, which we won't get into. So yeah, Black Ops Cold War in the circumstances in which the game was made, and on COVID and all this stuff. And I thought that the team at Treyarch did a really good job of bringing everybody together to make a decent campaign. All right, Modern Warfare 2 2022. So I wouldn't say I put this right next to Modern Warfare 2019. I thought it was a little bit downgraded in terms of like the tone and the pacing, especially like the driving levels. But overall, it was still a satisfying follow-up to Modern Warfare 2019. You play as Ghost a lot in this one. There's like the survival mission where you're Soap and you're trying to just like scavenge some things. Like that was different. That was innovative. I thought we were going to see more of it, and the way in which it was implemented in the final fight was, it was like realistic survival mechanics, but in like the least realistically applied way possible in order to make the fight frustrating. I thought that kind of hampered it down. I thought Modern Warfare 2019 had a better conclusion fight, but is what it is. In terms of story, still pretty solid. Until that, of course, comes Modern Warfare 3 2023. Now, this one was just a total, in terms of campaign, a downgrade from Modern Warfare 2, because they were Sledgehammer was rushed for time and collaborating with the writers of Modern Warfare 2 with where they wanted to go, and they brought in Makarov. But the story just seemed to kind of go nowhere. It's like, oh, Makarov's planted a bomb, go defuse it. And it's just that over and over again. And then Soap gets killed unceremoniously. So it's just, and this is when they started doing the Warzone elements inside of campaign. And it's just, nobody really liked it. I would, however, put it up, but no, actually, no. It's worse than World War II and Black Ops 3. All right. So moving on to Black Ops 6. I did play this recently. I sort of put this on the higher end of mid. The storyline and like it was less like Warzone-y than Modern Warfare 3, but in its own right, I just thought as a follow-up to Black Ops Cold War, this was not written nearly as well. And there's like an element where you can upgrade your character, but it's like it hardly really made a difference. And I don't know. it was just kind of mid. Like it didn't really do any sort of set piece that was like super spectacular. I thought this quasi open world section in Iraq was decent, but that was like kind of a rare highlight of the game. All right, and now we're on to, oh man, Black Ops 7. This goes straight in the trash, brother. It's more controllable than Call of Duty 3 on the Wii, so I put ahead of it just based on that. But in terms of like writing, pacing, how Warzone-y it is, like this is the absolute trash gutter. So, and it's a shame because it sets up the end game mode. I thought the end game mode was like the actual what the campaign was building to. So it's kind of just filler. And if it's just filler, I mean that's just straight into the trash. Like there's no other no other place to put it. All right, but you guys have seen this very game on the bottom here the whole time, and that's because the greatest of all time is reserved for one campaign and one campaign only. That's Black Ops 1. This is like the best written, best paced, coolest weapons, coolest encounters. It's challenging, but not grenade spammy like these games. Like everything in terms of a campaign came together for this. Like the flashback sequences were super well done and interesting and innovative for the time. I mean, this is just Black Ops 1 is the absolute peak of Call of Duty campaigns. And you can play it. It's aged well. Like some of these games haven't aged well going back and replaying them, but this one is aged super well. I highly recommend you guys give it a go. But thank you for sticking around for this video. This was a lot of fun to do. 2025 was a great year. And here's to 2026 being even better. So give this video a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below. What was your favorite Call of Duty campaign? And what are your thoughts on like the leaks and such? And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day.